Let's say you are planning to become a driver for a rather prestigious organization, and that organization basically runs high profile taxi service. Now, the problem is that you don't know how to drive very well. So, there is a test that they conduct, which is for limousines, that if you can drive the limousine and pass that test, well, they might give you an offer to join their firm and be a recognized driver for limousines. So, what you do is you say, hey, you know what? This is going to be a lot of effort and I need that job a little faster. Why don't I simply get hold of a person who's already a limousine driver and I'll ask him to take the test on my behalf and then I'll join that company. You think that's a good idea? Okay, let me take yet another example. Let's say you want to be represented by a sports federation. Now, in order to be represented by a famous sports federation and be able to play on their behalf, right? Let's say it's a track and field sports, they have a qualifying engagement or a qualified event. Now you realize that your timings and are not good enough. You are not ready. You have not worked hard enough, but you want to make sure that you want to clear this event. You're not going to wait for the next event. So what you do, you simply get somebody who's very good in track and field and say, hey, you know what? You run that race on my behalf, win it so that I get qualified into the federation. You might be thinking, Maneesh, are you nuts? Well, you'll be surprised. This is what is also happening with PMP exams. To understand this sensitive matter further in greater details, keep watching. Hi there, this is Maneesh Vijay bringing you yet another episode of PMP with Maneesh. Just a few days back, a kid actually called me and he said, Maneesh, I've just been laid off from an organization, and he was pretty upset. And I do understand, the world kind of falls apart when you get laid off. There are so many things at stake. And this guy was not absolutely very young kid. He was a slightly grown up person, and of course, he would have had his expenses, which are monthly in nature, and he has to provide for a lot of people. I understand that. But then he tells me that, sir, you need to understand that I need to clear PMP as fast as I can. It, time is of essence. I really need another job. So I asked him, okay, how well have you studied on PMP? Have you gone through the PMP training? And so it says, well, I've not gone through any PMP training, but I do know that there is a certification and I want it fast. I told him that there is a process you need to follow, and I'm going to help you the best I can, because what I really wanted him to do is, because he has been laid off from the position of a project manager, maybe he was laid off because he was not good at his job. Maybe they replaced him with somebody who actually got the job done better, right? So even if there was a downturn in the company, what they try to do, usually, I will not say always, there are a lot of American companies who just do a head count and they just let go of people, whether they're talented or not. But most of the companies, what they do is they actually try to let go of those people who may not have been providing as much of value in the past. Whatever the case, I said, you know what? I'm going to train you in such a manner that you will not only clear PMP exams, you will also understand project management in such a manner that people will not be able to stop you during interviews, and you'll also be practically effective. So I said, well, it's going to take something like 25 to 28 days to do that. That's the fastest I can do. You could do, in fact. And the person says, so that's too late. That's too late. And then he goes on to tell me this. He says, sir, I really need your help. Please, can you get somebody else to give the exams on my behalf so that I get my PMP certification as soon as possible, and then I can join another company? So if you look at the earlier examples that I gave you about driving a limousine and the Sports Federation sponsorship, don't you think this is just about as stupid? And I'm purposely using the word stupid because this is stupid at so many levels that it is even hard for me to capture in this particular video. I'm just going to capture just a few things. Think about it. Are we trying to be so smart that we are axing our own feet? Do you think that the organizations that hire you, they hire you because you have a PMP certificate? Yes, they do at times, but they do that because they expect something from you. I mean, you join those Udemy courses for 500, 600 rupees or whatever it is, like really cheap. See what kind of courses do they provide. They're famous. I'm sorry. There is nothing against them. They are doing the best they can. I'm sure they're nice people. But look at their courses. What is it that they tell you? Do this, read this, this is how it is, this is the sequence in which you have to understand. There is no practicality. Now, even those guys who clear the PMP exams themselves, but they just clear it somehow, just mugging up, even those guys are not worth, they are not really able to do a good job. And that's why PMP certification is having such a bad rap in this industry right now. There is an organization that I know, no point naming it, famous organization, they've actually told me, because I do conduct rounds of interviews on behalf of organizations to hire the best quality project managers, program managers, and portfolio managers. So companies do hire me to do that. But they actually told me, Maneesh, please do not even consider a PMP certified person. Do you see how dangerous this market has become because of the short-sighted stupidity of people? They are axing their own feet. Now imagine, and there are organizations, I do agree, there are organizations, slimy organizations, and there are quite a few of them. The very fact that this person did not even wince openly asking me this, that means there are so many other organizations who are doing it openly. And what are they doing? Those organizations, those training organizations, those trainers, the people who are actually opting for this, they all are equally to blame. Okay, let's talk about the trainers. If they if they get people to clear PMP exams like this, either with just theory, just read this, mug this up, this is the kind of questions that you get, do it, or through proxies, right? Through illegal means. It is absolutely illegal. I should not even mince word. It is illegal. And when you have a lot of such people in the market, they are looking for job. What would the industry do? The industry is not hiring just because you have a fancy title. They want work from you. You should be capable enough to deliver better results than others who are not PMP certified. Are you able to do that? If not, why would they hire you? Or even if they hire you, mistakenly, why would they keep you? How much would they sustain you? So over a period of time, all these so-called probable candidates for PMP, they're going to get this feeling, hey, PMP is not really helping. So these trainers are not going to get much business. That's going to happen. It is happening right now. So trainers are axing their own feet. And what about people? When the candidates themselves, people who are trying to create a career in project management, PMP is the very first step. It's only a step in your career. And if your very first step is illegal, how can you really perform? How can you really handle teams? How can you actually deliver projects? How can you understand the customers? How can you do stakeholder management? How can you do actual risk management? How can you do situational process waiving or tailoring? You will not be able to do that. Plus, because you never invested time to understand PMP, because others are doing it, why should I take the time? Dude, because others are not doing a good job, they are doing the shortcuts. That's precisely the reason why you should be actually spending proper time on PMP, because then you'll be the lone shining star. Don't join. I mean, there are so many people, or look at the number of thousands of people on Udemy and see what happens to them. Right now, PMI has actually dumbed down the course. They have actually dumbed it down. It's not the kind of rigor that is required when we used to give the exam, or even about 4 or 5 years back. They have dumbed it down just so that more people come to PMI. That was a very bad mistake. So even when this course has been dumbed down, people are still failing in very large numbers. Why do you think that's the case? Why do you think that is happening? Questions are on practical aspects. You don't have the practical knowledge, and then you say, hey, the question is tricky. The question is not tricky. You didn't understand it because you didn't understand the topic. You just thought, if this word comes, this is what I'm going to answer. That's what you've been told by most of these other trainers. So don't fall for that. Don't do these kind of things. It's your career. Think about it. Are you focusing only on the next job, or are you focusing on the entire career? I know when you lose a job, or even a prospect of losing your job, the world shakes. I do understand that. There's a lot at stake. But does that mean we do shortcuts and land ourselves in bigger trouble? What if you get caught and get blacklisted? Once you get blacklisted, just imagine none of the companies are going to hire you. Which direction are you trying to go for? Don't do these shortcut things because people get laid off, because there is a chance you might get laid off. Invest in quality education. Invest in improving your real worth that you can deliver to the client. If you found the earlier two statements that I said, or the examples that I gave, if you found those stupid, well, going for a proxy or just studying theory and somehow clearing the exams for PMP, that's equally stupid, if not more. I'm sorry for the harsh language, but I'm not one of those kind of trainers who are going to just pamper you and say, hey, you're doing it well. Or one of those theoretical teachers will say that because you're wearing a blue shirt, you will clear the exam, or some stuff like that. I don't believe in that. I've had 28 years plus experience in real world strategy, programs, projects. Companies hire me today to set up PMOs for them. They hired me today to set up business analysis career path. They hire me to do 6 to 7 months of productivity establishment. That's the kind of work I do. And if you get these are the kind of people you need to get trained by so that you understand practically on every aspect of project management. That is how it is going to differentiate you from all these hundreds and thousands of other people who are going to these kind of, theoretical trainings. They just literally read the PMBOK in some slides. That's it. That's what they do. Don't do that. Don't go for proxies. Don't make your career an illegal start. Guys, you got one life. That is your most important project. You can have two of everything. You cannot have two of your life. Every moment invested in your life must be thought out. It is the most important project in your life. Other projects are transient. I hope I made the point very clear. Thank you for watching. And once again, apologies for a little harsh language, but I think the world needs it now more than ever before. Maneesh Vijay from PM Pulse.